Hello, everyone. It's Candace Presley here, and happy Black History Month to everyone. I have some special guests with me today, and I wanted to start out and just give some people a little bit of knowledge about me. Some of you probably know that I have been selected to be a participant in this new accelerator program called Philly Rise, founded by Black Squirrel. And it has been a whirlwind. When I tell you, it has been a tremendous opportunity. And lots of people have reached out to me asking me about, how did I get in the program? What are the qualifications? How can I get involved? So I figured, what better way than to kick off Black History Month than with the Black Squirrel founders, Mr. Tom Webster and Kevin Williams. Hey, guys.
Hello, good morning, Candace.
Thank you so much for
Hey,
joining me.
Candace. Happy Black History Month, and thank
Happy
you for
Black
having
History.
us here.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time, getting me on your calendar, and I'm so honored to be a part of the program and just so excited to just share the information. So why don't you guys just tell me about yourselves, tell everyone about the program and what made you decide to do this? Tom, why don't we start with you?
Well, I'm going to defer to my CEO.
All right,
Well,
Kevin.
I'll kick it off,
I
and then I'll turn it over to Tom. First, thank you very much, Candace, for having us on. We really appreciate this, and I do want to say this is something that we hope to get the word out to everybody. So to answer your question, first of all, as you know, one of our partners isn't on the call. He's doing meetings as we do in the background. But Black Squirrel was created specifically to create opportunities for generational wealth for Black and Brown people. And in doing so, we created it so that we don't become the competitors. We want to become the nexus point. We want to be the one that, and this should resonate with you when you think about Philly Rise, because we have all of these great contacts and network of people and subject matter experts that when we see a problem, we can say, okay, let's bring the stakeholders in and let's find the right solution. Yeah. And so first we had to establish what's the problem that we're trying to solve. Aside from the generational wealth issue in Black and Brown communities, it also extends to when you look at real estate development, specifically in Philadelphia, that less than 5% of all the real estate development is being done by minorities. And when you look at the real estate boom, this is no different than the tech boom that's been taking over the world. Right. And if we're not finding a way to carve out our part in this whole process, we're not going to get it. And so we want to make sure that we give Black and Brown real estate developers of not just a fighting chance, but a very competitive chance in that industry. And so this is how we got things started. To give you a little bit more understanding of how we do it and why we continue to do it. Our first thing I want to say is this is something that we put a lot of time, a lot of thought and effort into. We really have consulted a lot of people who are well known in this industry, and we've gotten great feedback in terms of how this program needs to help and what are the components that needs to be in place. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tom, our Chief Programs Officer, to give you a little bit more, because as you know, he's very much hands-on with this project.
Yes, he is.
Well, Candace, I echo Kevin's sentiment. Thank you for just inviting us. I'm humbled by the opportunity to speak to you as a rising star, in this real estate sector. And part of why we created Philly Rise were for folks like yourself, brothers and sisters that are in the game, scratching their way up from the bottom to the top and finding all kind of roadblocks and barriers, that are designed or not done, maybe some intentionally, others not intentionally, but just to hold you back. And the whole goal of Philly Rise is to eliminate them and then work with you on scalability. Right. The whole program is really geared around the whole concept that for us to be successful, we got to have a seat at the table. For us to have a seat at the table, people got to be able to open the door. And what Black Squirrel does and believe in is kicking in the door.
That's
So
right.
folks like you can come behind us. So
Awesome.
the whole goal of Philly Rise really is to prepare you to be able to walk through the door, have a seat at the table, and be successful. Because what we will see happening here in Philadelphia, as Kevin pointed out, with less than 5%, we want to be able to change that.
Right.
And working with, a dozen companies a year for the next 5 years, because we built this based on a 5-year plan, with building out 60 companies, Black and brown real estate development companies. What we want to do is see a strong portion of you grow to the level that you can compete, in Philadelphia's $12 billion real estate development game over the next 12 years. And being able to succeed in that, you got to be able to, one, not only have a seat at the table, but two, be prepared with the skills and the knowledge. Three, have the contacts and relationships that are going to support you. And four, access to capital. And
Right.
as you know, that's what the accelerator brings. We bring all those things to the table to allow you to grow and scale, so that when you get to the table, you're able then to turn around and open the door for somebody else. Because our expectation of you, especially as this inaugural cohort, is that as you guys move to the next level, you're not only mentoring those coming behind you, but you're creating opportunities for them also too. So that's how we begin to change the perception of how we build wealth in our community, by doing it ourselves.
Well, you guys are doing it on a grand scale, I must say. And being one of the inaugural cohort members is really, an honor. And I've already been trying to, bring on the next recruit, the next, set of candidates. And, to your point, Kevin, when you said about the whole vision and how you have been planning, like you've been planning this for years before we got until we set foot in the classroom, and you can tell. So for instance, I said people have been reaching out to me. I remember on the first day of class, you said, you know what, we want you to dream big, think big. And that resonates with me. Every single time I come to class, I am so excited, about what I'm about to get today. I went to graduate school, and when we were in grad school, we would have speakers come in, and talk to us about real estate and their development, and, kind of show what they did, but nobody to really show us how to put together a deal, to build new construction, to actually sit down and go through an RFP. So that's, speaks volume in itself. So, part of my theme for this is, Black history, Black excellence. So, Black Squirrel is, definitely setting a high standard for minority real estate developers. So what would you say would be some advice that you would give someone who would want to apply, for the next round? I know for me, I say, look, build up your portfolio, get some experience under your belt before you apply. But what else would you add to that?
Well, from my perspective, one of the things that they all have to do is they have to have a larger vision in terms of where they, not only where they see themselves, but where they see themselves fitting into our ecosystem. Because the extended part to this, and we talk about the cohort, but let us not forget about how we expand that ecosystem to include real estate agents. We have a lot of Black and brown real estate agents that on the back end, we want them to be a part of how we build this ecosystem, even down to the home buyers. These are the people that we want to be able to have them purchase the homes and educate them on how to use equity in a home on a purchase situation, and how that's going to help you create generational wealth. We want to talk about how we take Black and brown engineers, Black and brown architects. All of these people create, and if you walk into our program, into the cohort, and you have a sense of your responsibility or your investment in not just yourself, but into that ecosystem, you're going to be a good candidate for us. You want to add anything to that, Tom?
Yeah, I think the other part to it too is that come with a sense of you want to make a contribution. Because Candice, I think you would attest to that, is that one of the things that comes out of the participation in the program is the new relationship you're creating with your own cohort members.
That's true.
You're creating these new collaborations and you're building these new contacts. And I already know in the class, people are already looking at how to do deals together. And that's the benefit of this kind of program. We're putting like-minded people of color in an enrichment environment where not you can only learn and benefit, but figure out how to grow together. That's what's special about something like this.
Yes.
And this was our vision. We didn't know if we would be able to accomplish it, but seeing it materialize with having folks like yourself in it is just exciting to us.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We are a diverse, unique group, and we all have, special skills that together, collaboratively, if we can, mesh, and we are slowly but surely, we can definitely be a powerhouse within our own individual businesses. So it's truly exciting to see it, manifest and, being there, seeing each step of the way, how we're, kind of dealing with the, anything that comes up, we're just dealing with it and just still staying on the path.
It's real life, right? Because
Right.
I talk to people, entrepreneurs all the time and small business owners. I said, everything goes fine until life gets in the way, but that's a part of the equation. We have to not only understand how to build and manage a business, but we have to understand how to incorporate it into our life and into our community.
That's right. That's right. So I told you all that I was at a leadership class and I just came back, and it was, you sometimes you look at yourselves and look at how, one question that came up was, what type of leader are you now versus what type of leader would you like to be? So that was one of those, questions.
Great question.
Yeah,
Great
right.
question.
It really made you think about, things and putting different things into perspective and looking at taking a step back, so it was really helpful. I'm going to bring a lot of that to class next week. But some closing thoughts. I figured, again, with our theme, Black History, Black Excellence, how would you like to be remembered as our closing question here? And, you are definitely making a huge impact in Philly, and I not only see it in Philly, but all around the country. I see this. And so how would you guys, like to be remembered?
You know what? I can tell you real easy how I would like to be remembered: as an enabler. I want to enable and empower people. I don't, it's funny. We talk about you can't take money with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take what's up here with me either. I got to share that.
Nice.
There are things, and I think this is important for people to understand. If you ask me what's our secret sauce, I'm going to tell you it's our ability to share knowledge. We all have life experiences, but one of the things that people don't understand, people like yourself, see, you've used education as a way to move forward. But I will, and I'm not disregarding anybody's education because it's important. But what makes the difference is how you transfer the academic knowledge that you bring into a practical life, right? So when we say, guess what? Education is getting more and more expensive. So what we have the opportunity to do to give you that MBA level education and knowledge and start applying it to this industry. When you know how the class runs, you guys are breaking out pro formas. You're starting to put your site list together. You're starting to submit your applications. You went through the whole foundation of construction, real estate. These are all the components that are going to go into building a solid, a surviving company, a sustainable company. We have to be able to pass all of this along, and this is very important to me. And as long as people are willing to hear and absorb what we have to give, we're going to continue to give it.
Awesome. That's a great, profound statement, Kevin. Thank you. Tom?
And for me, it's really all about how me personally continue very much like Kevin, not to only give, but impact change in our community. And I think that starts one person at a time. I had a mentor growing up in North Philly, and one of the things he used to say, and he had a sign above his desk, and he says, "You'll be amazed what you can accomplish as long as you don't care who gets the credit." And that's what I'm about. That's what Black Squirrel's about. We're into doing the work, sharing the knowledge, and lifting others up. And it's not about us getting the credit as much as seeing folks like you, Candice, and other members of your cohort succeed and be able to pick up the front page of the Inquirer or Daily News and read about you building this new $100 million project. That's what I want to see. So that's success to me. Being able to see you guys elevate to that level and making an impact in our community.
Well, guys, I hope I don't let you down. I'm trying my best
you
here.
Won't. There's no doubt about it. I know you're not.
No pressure, no pressure, right?
You're tracking big time.
So for me, I would say how I want to be remembered is, being a great mom and one that, can persevere and get it done and inspire others along the way. I think that I'm starting to see that. Someone said to me before, even my own son said to me, Mommy, I figured out what your superpower is. So I'm thinking here, what is he going to say, right? And he said, perseverance. He said, you never give up. Yes, he did.
How old is he?
He's 11. 11. So, I started almost a boohoo cry, right? But he's watching.
That's right.
He's observing. And, if I can inspire, motivate someone else to, be a developer and to make a difference, then I've done my duty here. So again, I thank you guys so much for joining me today. And make sure you stay tuned to me. I'm sure you all are on my LinkedIn page. Follow me on IG at CommercialCandis, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. Follow Trinity Property Advisors so you can see what's going on and see when the next application is open for Black Squirrel and the Philly Rise program. And I thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.